Hello campers, welcome to Camp Washington Home Edition. I'm Elizabeth and today we're doing sloppy science. For sloppy science today we're going to be doing two different experiments. The first is going to be making Oobleck, which is a non-Newtonian fluid. So what you're going to need for this experiment is cornstarch, food coloring, and water. And a bowl and a spoon or something to stir it with that your parents or whoever you live with is okay with you getting a little messy in. And you might want to change out of any clothes that could get dirty because food coloring can stain. So you want to make sure that you're in clothes that can get dirty and you're using things that is okay to maybe mess up if you don't clean properly. Okay, so pause the video right now, go get your cornstarch, water, and a bowl and some spoons, and then come on back. Okay, so now what we're going to start with is adding cornstarch to our bowl. So I'm going to do about a cup of cornstarch to start off with. And so that's about a cup of cornstarch. And it feels, if you touch it, it feels like even smoother and finer than flour. And it can feel kind of weird on your skin. So now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm actually going to get a spoon so that I can stir it with. So I have a spoon and I'm going to add some water. And then I'm going to stir. So So right now it's creamy, and what you can't see, but what you'll be able to feel, is how hard it can be to move and to stir around. So right now, parts of it that feel very solid, and parts that look very liquidy, right? So it looks like a liquid, but right here, it's like a solid, and it can look like yogurt or like cheese and then like milk. But right now, I'm going to add some food coloring. And so I have green, yellow, blue, and red. And you can use whatever food colorings you want to make the color, but I'm going to start off with like a bluish green today. So I'm going to use, let's start with 3 drops of blue. Okay, 4 drops of blue. And then I'm going to do 2, 3, 4 of green, and then let's mix it up and see how it looks. And as we mix it up, we might decide that it needs more of any of the things that we've used. Okay, so it looks like it's all mixed up. I kind of want this to be a little bit more green and a little less blue. So because we added blue and green earlier, I want to make it more green. I'm going to add yellow. So I'm going to do 1 drop of yellow, and let's see how it looks after 1 drop of yellow. Because yellow and blue, when mixed together, make green. And you can see how hard this is to mix, but then when I swirl it around, it looks like a perfect liquid. And that's because when we add pressure, it reacts differently. So Oobleck, which you might have heard from Dr. Seuss, or maybe you've done it before, is a non-Newtonian fluid. So it doesn't act like regular liquids act, like water. Instead, it acts much differently. So what I'm going to do right now to show you is I'm going to have it in my hand, and if I squeeze it, it will come out like a liquid. Then right here, it looks like clay. And then, so it looks like I squeezed out most of the liquid, but then if I let it go, it'll drip. So this is something really fun to play around with, and you're just going to want to make sure that you keep it somewhere where it's okay for you to be a little bit messy, because there's food coloring and cornstarch can be kind of hard to clean sometimes. So, but you can play with it, and when you want to get it off your hands, you can rub your hands together and pieces will come off. And then just wash your hands under warm water with soap, just like you should be doing all the time now, and all the time before this. So this is our Oobleck, and can we do some more shots of it? Now, if you don't get this great Oobleck consistency right off the bat, you can experiment adding more cornstarch or more water. So let's see, if I add more cornstarch, oh, it's really hard. And it's not, I can't mix it, and it doesn't want to do anything. So now, I'm going to add some water. And let's see. So I added some water. And the Oobleck down below is really hard. So I'm going to use my hands to mix it up. And now I have like this layer of like water, and then there's Oobleck down at the bottom. So what I actually need to do is to get back to our good Oobleck consistency, is add a little bit more cornstarch. And as I stir it, it's giving me some resistance, and it feels thicker than water. But I actually want to make it a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna add a little bit more cornstarch. Okay, and now we're back to a better Oobleck consistency. Look. So, have some fun, play around. You're probably going to want to start out with about a cup of cornstarch, maybe half a cup to 2/3 of a cup of water, and then see where you're at, and then add more water or more cornstarch, depending on whether or not you want it thicker or thinner. So right now I want it a little bit thicker, so I'm going to add a little bit more cornstarch. Play around with it, have some fun. It's not exact, but it can be really cool. So you're welcome to pause the video right now, play with this for a bit, and then when we're going to come back, we're going to blow up some balloons, but in a different way than you've normally done. So pause the video, hang out, play around with your Oobleck, and then when you're ready to come back, you can, and we're going to blow up a balloon. Welcome back to Camp Washington's Slappy Science Home Edition. Our next experiment is going to be using baking soda and vinegar to blow up just regular old party balloons. So the first thing I'm going to show you is that if you add baking soda to just plain old water, let's see what happens. I stir it up. It kind of dissolves, but nothing really happens. And then, but right here, I've got some vinegar, and I added some food coloring to it just so that you could see where the vinegar is in this plastic water bottle. So the things that you're going to need for this experiment, you're going to need a balloon, or a couple balloons, depending on if they rip. You're going to need a plastic water bottle. This is a great time to reuse a water bottle. So, and then you're going to add some vinegar, some white vinegar to the bottom. And I've done food coloring. You don't have to do food coloring. This is just so that you can see what happens. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add baking soda into a balloon. Now, this is kind of tricky, not gonna lie. So it can take some skill, but basically what you want to do is you want to make sure you don't rip your balloon. I thought I did, but I didn't. Okay, and you're going to spoon in baking soda. And I'm outside, so it's okay that I'm making a bit of a mess, but you might want to ask, again, whoever's looking out after you, where it's okay to be making a mess. I've talked to my mom. She's okay with me making a mess outside. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay, and what I'm actually going to do is, my sister who's filming for me, she's going to help me spoon in the baking soda, yeah, to the balloon, because sometimes you need some help. Okay, a little bit more. Great. Okay. So now that we've got the baking soda, probably about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of baking soda in, we're going to put the balloon over the top of the small mouth of the water bottle. And you're going to want to do this without spilling any of the baking soda into the water bottle, okay? So you're going to have the balloon hanging by the side, and you want it to fully cover the mouth of the bottle so that there's no air gaps, okay? So once you have your balloon over the bottle like this, and you're ready, we're going to we're going to tip over the balloon. So right now, I want you to pause the video and go do all of those things. So you're going to add some vinegar to the bottle. You're going to put baking soda and you want to make sure it's baking soda, not baking powder, into your balloon. And then you can fit your balloon over the top of the lid of your bottle. Now that's a lot. So if you need to rewind or go back, that's a-okay. And then when you get to this point, you're ready to go, you can unpause the video and we'll do the experiment together, or you can watch me do it first and see what's gonna happen, or you can take the time, do it yourself, put it over the balloon yourself, and then you can have a surprise. So any of those options work for you. Choose what's gonna make you the happiest and have the most fun, and then we'll come back and join me for the experiment, okay? So pause the video and then we'll be back. Okay, so now that you have that all ready, or maybe you did the experiment already and you saw what happened, that's great. But for those of you who didn't, do you have any guesses as to what's gonna happen? Has anyone ever done this experiment before? And if you have, maybe you know what's gonna happen, but it's still cool. So, are we ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. So look at our balloon, it's expanding. It's getting bigger. And you saw that there were bubbles, and then there's still bubbles down below. And I thought maybe I can shake it up a little bit. But so our balloon is blown up a bit, and what you can also feel at the bottom is that the liquid has become cooler than it was before. So now you have a blown up balloon. Oh, wait. There was more baking soda, so you also maybe want to tap it to see. But that was great. I hope you had a fun time. And there are a bunch of different things that you can do with baking soda and vinegar. It always produces a reaction. Sometimes you'll see volcanoes that bubble up, so you could do that sort of thing. But also it was fun to blow up a balloon. So I'm glad you joined me today. I hope you had some fun. I hope you got a little sloppy. And don't forget to make sure that you clean up after yourself and get everything back to normal. But maybe you have a little bit of a tinge to your hands from the food coloring. But I hope you had a fun time with Oobleck and blowing up a balloon. And have a good rest of your day.